let's talk a little bit about Kyler Murray, shall we, right now?
Yeah, of
Since
course.
everybody's
Shocker.
talking about
Yeah.
Kyler Murray right now. So tell me about Kyler Murray in regard to your evaluation of him. What are you looking for, not only in this game coming up, but in the next 4 games before the bye?
For me, I think the biggest thing is just his comfort level in this new offense. Listening to you guys already, I think Max really laid it out really great yesterday. Him obviously being on the offensive side of the ball throughout his career and really understanding all that goes into being a great offensive quarterback and all the things you have to process, from the coverage, the hot routes, getting the play call just out of your mouth into to letting everybody know, and then the series to series adjustments that you have to make in order to be successful throughout a game. And how comfortable does he look when he is going through that process? And we all know it's going to be growing pains, because there's nothing like in game, the emotions, the adversity you have to face, getting hit, getting back up, somebody busting an assignment, maybe you busting an assignment, and then on top of that, did my knee tweak a little bit, right? All those things that you have to overcome. And so just how does he look? How resilient does he look? How does he respond? Because adversity is going to happen. He's going to get hit. He's going to get jacked up. He's going to throw a bad ball. How does he respond, and what does it look like? Not looking for perfection. I've been telling my kids, not looking for perfection, but progression, right? And how does he look like in game, and then week to week? And then, as I think what we've kind of talked about is kind of off air a little bit, is things are still kind of honeymoonish for him, because he hasn't been in a game, right? He hasn't been responsible for these outcomes and losing. And so that oftentimes changes the dynamic as far as, who am I as a professional? I think it's really easier when you're hurt, injured, or games haven't started, right? Coaches loving you up, because that's really not us. It's not me out there. What does he look like as a leader? How does he continue to grow as maybe they lose a couple of games, right? Is that love affair still there that they say that who this new player is, right? I want to see what that looks like. How do you respond to maybe a couple of losses, maybe a couple of teammates, maybe you're not playing well? Because all those things are going to give me an indication of, okay, this dude has grown up. He's matured. Okay, he's locked in. He's getting better by week to week. We're not hearing like he's kind of dejected and kind of out of it. He's growing. I think those are the things, some of those intangibles that you want to see from your franchise guy. And I think it's going to lead them to say, okay, we want to keep this dude around and grow with him, because we've seen him really take these steps forward.
I don't think there's any question, Zoe, that Monty Ossenfort and the Cardinal organization, over these next 8 games with Kyler Murray, they're going to be evaluating him as their quarterback of the future. They may say publicly, like, this is our guy, he's our franchise quarterback. But these are a big 8 games for Kyler Murray, and I think for the organization.
Right.
Because I think in 8 weeks, we're going to know, is this the beginning of something really, really great? Or are there a lot of question marks heading into the offseason? Do you see it that way? Is this an evaluation period?
Yeah.
This is a comeback. It's a reset,
Right.
But it's also an evaluation period.
Well, and I don't know, the contract and the stipulations, some of those things can sometimes lock you in much longer than maybe you want to.
Sure.
And so just with that aside, right, as an NFL player, if you are really being honest and humble and true to yourself, regardless if you're a superstar or not, you are always being evaluated. And so that's the mindset that you have to have as far as when you step on that football field. Every time I step out there, somebody's evaluating me from a skill perspective, my tendencies, what do I like to do, what I don't, am I growing, am I staying the same, right? Because they have a lot of money invested in you, and at the end of the day, it's about the result. And so what does that process look like? Is my process going to help this team be in a better position to win? Can that coach, can that GM, can that owner see me growing with this organization moving forward? Right? And so I believe, just like you, that is kind of where he's at, because there's one perception of what he was like with the old regime, and that's why he had the contract clause. There's this new perspective of, well, this is who he's been since we've been here, right? Even though he hasn't been out on the field, we've seen some change. But now we got to see what it looks like when there is some fire, when he's, on that stovetop and he's in that pressure cooker. How do you respond? Because a lot of people act a little bit differently. I'm not saying this is Kyler, but just in general, you're typically a little bit different when your feet are to the fire versus I'm just chilling on the side, right? And I kind of go back to some of my experiences, and when I was in Buffalo at the end, and I was pass rushing in the off season, the coach was like, "Man, ooh, you look good, man." I'm like, "Good, man." He even went as far.
Nobody ever said that about me.
He even went as far as, and this one, I didn't say nothing to him. I was like, "Man, what? I don't know. I think he might have used the wrong name because he was a little bit older." Man, he said, "Man, you just remind me of LT." I said, "Ooh, okay. Remind you of LT." Yeah. So, but we got into the heat of things in the game and throughout the season. At some point, my production and what I was doing no longer looked like what he thought I should be doing. And I started getting kind of pushed to the side slowly but surely with this coach, right? And so there's one thing in the offseason, the way I was looking when pass rushing on air and doing some things. And there was another thing what he thought I was supposed to look like once that we was in those game moments and where I was supposed to be showing up and who I was, right? And so that's what I talk about who you are when you just sitting on the sideline throwing some balls, ain't nobody hitting you, and the games really aren't on you. The result really isn't Kyler Murray's loss.
Yes.
So now these losses may be contributed to him and what he's doing.